Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy you're here. It's a beautiful day. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a teacher, an author, an illustrator, an artist, and a designer, which we're going to talk about a little bit because what we're going to work on today sort of comes from my design background. I was a graphic designer for about 20 years before I started to change my career into illustration and more hand-drawn work, handmade work. And I started drawing letters just because it's my favorite thing to doodle. We all have our go-to doodle habits. And for me, it was always just playing around with my handwriting. And I don't really call it lettering, but some people call it lettering, some people call it calligraphy. It's not really calligraphy. It's just my way of playing with the alphabet and words, and there's so many possibilities, and you don't have to even have good handwriting to make really fun, really cool things. So let's switch over to, if we could spotlight my desk. I will start to share some things because we only have an hour, so we want to make the most of our time. And okay, so I have a few things to share. And for the promo for this, I had started something very rough. As you can see, it's not even finished. I just wanted to show you how, even from the promo for the class, how sort of carefree and casual this can be, and take any fear or intimidation out of it, because everyone has unique handwriting that is, even if you say you have the messiest handwriting, we can make it fun and interesting. So this was an invitation that I had meant, just have a few examples, just actually really three. Both are book party announcements. This was for a book that I illustrated a while back, and as you can see, it's all just my handwriting. And then I actually drew the cover of the book as well. And that's my book, Draw Your Day. For any of you who don't know, I have written 2 adult books on drawing and keeping a daily practice. And my first book is called Draw Your Day, and this is the invitation to the book release party. So this is a little bit old. It's from 2018 when the book came out. But you can see I just really had fun with my handwriting sort of wrapped all around. This one was a little bit more straightforward, but everything is very centered, and I'm going to show you how that happens. Because you might look at this and be like, well, that looks pretty good and pretty centered and perfect. How does that happen? And I can show you. So, and then I wanted to show you just like really quick. I actually, this was just, I was using a little Sharpie, and I just really quickly wrote something. The book launch event was on my mind, so it was just an easy thing to do. And so this was as quick as it looks. I mean, I do have handwriting that I'm sort of used to playing with. I've been playing with it since I was a kid. So I don't want to sort of, did my screen freeze? Can you see me? Looks like my screen froze. We okay? Okay, now it's back. Hopefully you guys didn't lose me. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to sort of, I can't take it for granted that this is something that I do all the time. And so, you know, I don't want to make it seem like it's that easy, but I will share what, you know, I think is pretty straightforward. And so before I actually get started with doing some examples and us playing with writing, I just wanted to show you, because some of you might sort of think, well, what happens after you draw it? how does it become an invitation? And that can happen in many ways. You can take a lot of, there's a few apps on the phone. I think even within the system of an iPhone now, there's like a scanning feature. You can just take a picture of it. Sometimes if the picture is kind of a little blurry or whatever, you can even celebrate that and sort of have it be fun and just like print that out. You can also, if you have, there's my two kids when they were little, sorry. Let's see. Okay, so I just quickly wanted to show you these words are these words. So I took a photo, I brought it into Procreate, and then I kind of moved them around because I thought it was fun to have them like be in this format, but then it was too blocky, so I just moved them around. But I haven't adjusted them. I haven't done anything with them. There are a few things that I did just to show you how you can use Procreate to like sort of enhance or even draw all the words. I mean, so that way if you have the app, you can play around with it. I don't want, this is not the focus of our class, but I just wanted to share this with you. And then, you know, you can have fun like adding background colors, but that's the extent of my iPad because I don't want to, that's not what we're doing today. But that is how it can become digital and then you can print it out. You can also bring it into Photoshop if you're familiar with using Photoshop and play around with it there. There are very simple ways and more complex and, you know, advanced ways of dealing with the artwork once you have created it. So now I'm going to just show you what our first exercise is just going to actually be before we get into the actual invite idea, because what I want to stress too is, yes, we're kind of focusing on invitations, but you can use your handwriting in fun ways anywhere. I mean, so just keep that in mind. It does not have to be for an invitation. You can have fun lettering be or signage or on the cover of a journal or to, you know, make headings on in your bullet journal or wherever, anywhere, just as I do in Draw Your Day, as you have my books and you're familiar, you know that I play with handwriting just on my journal pages. So you can use this as inspiration for really so many different things. So what I want you to do first, if you have a piece of paper, and I'm not using a pencil first, I'm just using a pen. And right now I'm using a Derwent line maker in a pretty, like a more thick point, but anything you have is fine. Even a ballpoint pen is fine. So, and I just want you to write like, I don't know, hello, just in your handwriting. And then maybe, what's the date? June 13th? Just anything that you want to write, you can write your name, just a few words. And right from the start, we can see like there is so many possibilities here just by these simple lines. I definitely, it's very hard for me to write words that are like crazy bad handwriting, but like I'll just try. I don't know. That looks like Helio. Now I'll make it hello. So just anything that comes out. And I just want to show you how this can become just by adding some weight to those letters. Suddenly they become more interesting, more refined, more intentional. This is more my normal handwriting, so I'll just play around with this. And what I'm going to do, and I have done a few handwriting sort of / lettering classes in the past. You can find 1 or 2 of them on my website, or you can just, send me a message if you're not sure where to find them. But this is something that I play around with a lot, and you can, add weight to the bottom of the letters or the top of the letters to make it more fun and interesting. So anywhere that the bottom part, every time it hits the bottom, you just make that a little bit thicker. And suddenly this simple handwritten word has a totally different look. Now for hello, maybe we do the same thing, or we add some lines, and everything on the left just has like a few different lines. I'm using a Derwent line maker, 0.8 nib, so it's a little bit thicker. Any pen or anything you use just to practice this, you can even just use your pencil for now. And also when you photograph or scan pencil lines, that looks very cool too. So anything goes. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, just if we're starting to just play around with like whatever comes out of us, and like how you just sort of thicken it, accentuate it, make it more intentional, then suddenly those really messy handwritten words are really cool, and they become, I guess, in a way, lettering. I mean, whatever you want to call it. All right, so now we're going to move on. I could spend the whole time doing this, but I want to move on to invitations. So now what I did really, really quickly on the computer was I set up in the most basic type, just what was available on the computer, and I centered it, and I just, this is how I started making this invitation. The one that I had explained was very centered. So this is how this can happen. It can also happen by just writing the words out and then bringing them into Photoshop and then centering everything and start like having a little rule guideline in the middle, and then centering all your words that way. But this is a way of making that job very much easier. And if you don't have Photoshop, or you're not comfortable in Procreate or Photoshop, you won't need it. So I have paper that is a little bit thin. This is just a legal pad. And I can see through. I don't know if you will be able to see through, but I can. And for this one, we are going to start with pencil, just so I can show you a different process, and we can make these letters in the middle really fun, and I can show you how I would paint them and color them in using the Derwent pencils and paints. Okay, so you've got a guideline, but you're not really following it. So if it's kind of hard to see, that's fine. You just know where the lines should start and stop. And so it just keeps it all so I know, like, this is my regular script handwriting. So I know exactly, that I'm centered. It's centered because I've got that guide underneath. So then I've got ice cream. And then and if what could be super fun is, we then, can add like a little ice cream cone, maybe it drips a little. You can add some cute little illustrations. Maybe here's like a card, ace of hearts or something like that. Anyway, so that's a little kind of side thing. As we celebrate. Now Max's 5th birthday, I'm gonna make really big and fun. And so I'm not really following what's there. I just know like it might be off-centered if I kind of misjudge, but I know that like once I either scan it or take a picture of it, I can recenter it. But I'm going to try my best to keep it centered. And then we're also using pencils. So the great thing is if it's really off, we can erase. I did a pretty good job judging that, but again, don't let that intimidate you. It's just because I've done this a lot. All right. So I'm really trying to write fast so that it's really natural. It really feels like my handwriting. And voila, there's my guide. And I take this out, I can tear it up, throw it in the garbage. You don't want to be too, it was only just to help me know like side to side where things should be. Now I've got a few different colors here. I've got lots of different color line makers. So the Derwent line makers come in a whole array. You can get grays, you can get sepias, or you can get all the colors of the rainbow. So I think I'll play around with some purple for the top. And I'm just going to go over those letters. And I can do the same thing that I did before and make them I can just play around with the thickness of some of those lines. And once I trace through this whole invitation, I can just erase the pencil once the ink dries. You want to give it a little bit of time so you don't smudge the ink. Now I can change the color. Maybe I'll make this pink ice cream. If I wanted to, I could also have another piece of paper right on top if it was more sheer, and that way I wouldn't even have to erase the pencil. But I don't mind having some of the messy pencil like underneath. I kind of makes it seem more handmade. So if it all doesn't erase and it shows up a little bit in the scan, me personally, I like that. But if you want it to be much more refined and perfect, you can, be really careful so that you don't have any pencil at all. Try and go through this quickly so I can get to the bigger letters and show you what can happen with those. If it also makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, you can work bigger. I'm pretty comfortable working at this size, but all right, so now I've got a thinner line maker. I'm using a thinner point. Hi, Tia. I always say Thea. I think it's Thea. After all this time, I should know that, Thea. Tia. Anyway, I do see your question, and it's a good question. How do I decide what words to make script or caps? That is, again, like something that I would maybe take for granted. I'm going to talk through what I'm doing because I just have done this for so long. But I figure, ice cream and magic is like the little bit of the theme, and I've got some little illustrations, so I made those in all caps just so they read a little differently. And then Brooklyn Heights, I also made in caps. I don't really know why. And actually, I did the whole address in caps. It's something that I decide as I go. And it's kind of a little bit hard to explain, but the more you do it, the more you can, and it doesn't matter. I mean, as we celebrate could have been in caps, anything can happen. There's really no correct answer. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm just going around, literally making bubble letters around my lines. So I'll keep going. Now I'll make the 5 even kind of more thick. Just a little bit thicker. I'm just going to go up close so you can see what I did. So I know that because I play with these words and these letters for so long, I know what I have to do to sort of compensate for extra space or more space or not enough space. This just comes with practice, but if you do end up sort of squeezing in your TH and it looks a little weird, just that the whole idea is this is not supposed to be perfect. And sometimes, the more imperfect it is, the better, because then it's like intentionally just playful and fun. If you're like off not so slightly, then it looks like a mistake, if that makes sense. So accentuate it, the sort of quirkiness and carefreeness of it. And I think that actually works out in your favor. So at this point, I can start to erase some of the pencil up here because it's been a little while, so I can just going over this just with a plastic eraser. This is a Derwent eraser. Plastic erasers are my favorite. And it pretty much it all comes up. Some of the pencil underneath the ink stuck there, but I think that looks totally fine. Now I'm gonna keep going with more fun color. And I've got my Derwent Inktense colored pencils. And I'm just gonna start to play around with literally coloring in like a coloring book. These letters. And if you want, you can, they kind of blend, so I can go from all, you know, through all the colors of the rainbow. I've got a good array of colors here, but if you only have a few colors, that's fine too. I don't have to put too much pigment in. I don't have to color them in too exact, because once I add a little bit of water, this is a Derwent water brush, that all that pigment that you put down like really comes alive and it's, you know, it's easily movable. I've got a little rag here, just like a paper towel that I'm blotting. It's like magic when you add water to these color pencils. I'm just going to hold it up a little bit closer so you see. You can do the same thing just with the Inktense paints. Either way, or anything, markers, whatever you have. I also have a few paint pens. These are Derwent paint pens, and I might play around with that in a little bit, but they were not on my materials list, so I'm sticking to what I told you to use. I'm starting back over with the red. I don't want to spend too much time because I want to move on. Now, also keep in mind, I really believe perfection is boring. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And I'm not concerned if my paint goes outside of the lines. That just makes it more playful and fun. So not a concern. All right, now I'm going to just get blue. Now the date is important on an invitation. The location and the date is very important. So those are things that you can accentuate if you want. And so I separated the date and the time a little bit here. Most important thing is date and time on any invitation and location. So people know how to put it in their calendar. Okay, I'm going to add with a thinner pen, same thin pen, just like play around with a little. Maybe it's a deck of cards. These are so quick, these drawings, these are not meant to be anything fancy. Maybe there's a little drip down here from the ice cream. I've got a red pen that's perfect for the card. And then I can make the ice cream. I guess we can make it pistachio or something. I'll erase my pencil. And the cone has a little bit of brown in it. The simplest little illustrations. Okay, I am going to move on because it's already 4:36. You can imagine what the bottom looks like. Super fun. I hope that made sense. I hope that you were able to follow along and just sort of get ideas. I'm now going to move on to the next. Where this is going to be a little bit more carefree. I do have this here, but I'm not going to use it underneath because I really want to show you what happens if it's not centered. You know, what can happen if it's just really fun and free. And so if it's all flush left, then you just know like everything is going to just start on the left side and finish where it finishes. But it's helpful to have this on the side, just so I know like these are the words that I want to fit on each line. So again, I can start with my pencil or not. I mean, sometimes I know what I'm going to do some words with the pencil, and then Max's 5th birthday, I'm just going to paint it because I want to show you what that looks like. All right, I'm going to leave a space here. Okay. So I did those words really, really quickly, and that was intentional. I want to show you the messy, quirky, like starting from this can be so much fun. So now we have Max's 5th birthday. I'm going to just put in here, and I'm actually just going to throw in some paint. And I didn't need to do, I could actually do this on watercolor paper, but I just did it on this paper. It'll be fine for, because we don't really need to like frame this. It's not final artwork that you want to frame. It's actually going to then be, you know, scanned or photographed. So I'm just using a few colors from the palette. And I'm just painting directly onto the paper. Okay, now there's so many ways I can proceed with what I've started here. So many things. Let's see. It all comes out a little differently, so I'm just going to play around with what I can do here. And I have a gray line maker. So I'm going to wait till this dries a little bit. Let me give that a second. This is a paint pen that I have not used yet. They're pretty much like line makers, but they come out a little bit juicy. I am not following my pencil lines there. I could see that as I was going, so I just corrected it. Now, what I'm going to do here, because this is dry, I'm just jumping around a little bit, but I can, that's a little too light, color's not. Okay. I went to black because you couldn't see the gray. So now I'm just outlining, I went backwards here. My bubble there was missing, so I just added it in. So for these letters, I went the other way around. painted them first, and now I'm tracing them. But for all of this, I'm just starting with my handwriting. I didn't do anything fancy. Each letter is totally different. It's, you know, not like when you're studying brush lettering or calligraphy and you're worried about everything being the same and all of your A's being perfect or your whatever. This is in a way the opposite. It's just to take all those ideas out of your head and really just play with what comes out of you naturally and celebrate it and make it really fun and different. And once you scan it, once you put it into Procreate or Photoshop, you can even plop it on top of a photo. I mean, some things are more advanced, like I said, or you just take a photo of what you've created, and with little drawings and little, I mean, we can do all sorts of fun things in here. Erase the pencil that's distracting me. And it's a 5th birthday party, so we can just have fun with, like, I love little circles, like polka dots, filling in any weird spaces if you want. And add some other colors. I have 15 more minutes, and I definitely want to have time if anybody has questions. Molly, are there any questions, or are you getting them all?
I think you're getting them all as we go, Sam. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I haven't looked in a while, so.
Yeah, no, we've been able to answer most of them. There haven't been too many.
Good. Then I guess that's a good sign. Not too many questions. Again, there are no rules to what, you know, materials or how you do this. It's just the whole idea is really just to have fun, and that comes across in the invitation. And depending on what the occasion is, I mean, for a wedding, it would be a pretty fun wedding if you were going to do something like this. But you could do, you know, fancier script. If you like your script handwriting, you know, go for it. Do it any kind of invitation with your handwriting. I'm just going to keep working on this one, and if anybody has any questions or anything comes up, you just let me know.
So Sam, we did get 2 more questions. Someone asked, can you use the bubble letters with cursive, or would you recommend using the bubble letters exclusively with print?
Well, the print, I guess, is easier. I have lots of samples of my lettering as using my script handwriting. It takes a little bit more time, but I can do a quick example of that. So it really, again, I mean, there's no rule. So you have to play around with your own handwriting and play around with what works with yours, what you feel is the most fun. It's definitely a little bit harder to do the script as bubble letters, just because, you know, they kind of attach, and it's a little more complicated. And I feel like we're all, even from when we're little, we're so used to making bubble letters in like more of a simple way. So it's up to you. I do both. I don't know if that answers the question.
Someone asked what paper you prefer.
Well, for these kinds of things, this kind of paper is great because it's a little bit transparent, and that is helpful if there's anything that you want to put underneath it to use as a guide. Even I don't like the lines to be straight, but I am pretty good at keeping my lines straight, again, just because of my experience with using my handwriting. But you might want to have like some lines underneath. That helps you keep your words straight. So I like this kind of paper. And again, it's I mean, unless you're really doing like a fun, like beautiful illustration, like a real illustrated invitation that may be framed. In that case, I would use good paper, archival paper. But you know, for my purposes, usually like this is almost like a throwaway, because once it gets on the computer or in Procreate, whatever I'm going to actually print from, then you know, if there's any little things that I want to move a little bit or tweak, you know, this ends up not being the final art. So, oh, I didn't wait long enough. It smudged. Well, I'm just going to not worry about that. But it's kind of fun. You can smudge it and leave it if you want. Or when you bring it into Procreate or Photoshop, that's super easy. I'm doing it again. Okay, I'm just going to stop. You can just erase it. So no big deal. I wonder if I don't have any originals to show from previous things, but basically any of my hand-drawn artwork is messy like that, or has some smudges, and it doesn't scare me at all because once it ends up on the computer, I can just erase. Is there anything that anybody wants me to do quickly before we end? Because we only have like 9 minutes left, so I could keep working on this. Or if anybody wants to see how I would do bubble letters with my script.
Hey, Sam, this is Felicia. I received a question in the chat asking for any tips of how to keep your lines straight while writing.
Oh yeah, I just mentioned that you can have some lines underneath. That's why it's nice to have paper that's a little bit translucent, that's not super thick to work on. So you can put lines underneath. You can have lined paper that you just put underneath, and so that those lines are there as a guide. Does that make sense? Hopefully that answers that question. Any tips on numbers I'm seeing? Not really. I mean, if you really want to have fun with your numbers, this is something that I'm just going to move. So you can kind of see, and you know, it's fun if you like cut off the circles and crop it and have the hand painted circles like bleed right to the edge of your invite. I can quickly show you what I mean, like if you're in Photoshop and you just sort of, you know, they bleed right off the top and bottom. Anyway, you can imagine what it will look like when it's finished, but I'm going to move on and just share a few little tips. So let's say I think it was script and then numbers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So there's regular numbers. They all line up top and bottom, right? Sorry, my lines aren't straight, but you get what I mean. But there are expert numbers. If you study typography, or you can sort of look at different typefaces on the computer or fonts, whatever you want to call them. there are expert numbers that actually drop below the baseline and extend above the top line. So sometimes a 2 might come up. A 3 would fall below. 4, I feel like usually stays in there, but you can play around. Anything that has like a scoop at the bottom sometimes falls below the baseline. The 6 comes above. The 7 definitely drops. 8 kind of just stays in there. A 9's opposite of the 6, falls below. And then the 0 usually is this, like what they call the X height for typography. So it's the same with letters. You know, the P falls below the baseline, a T or an L goes above. But a lot of times people don't realize this with numbers and how they can be really playful this way. So I love playing with typography and playing with sort of traditional rules of typography, or being inspired by really kind of fun traditional typography, but in a hand-drawn, playful way. So that hopefully is like kind of fun and maybe inspiring. You can look it up on your own, or ask me any questions privately. Okay, so now
Sam, what type of paper is that you're using?
this is just this one, it's actually a Blackwing pad. It's like what do they call it? Like the name is escaping me. A legal pad. I mean, it's a little bit nicer than like cheap copy paper, but it's not, it's pretty, it's like I said, it's thin. You can kind of, it's translucent. It's good to play with when you're doing things like this, because you can put things underneath. And all right, so I'm just going to write a word because we only have 5 minutes left. The first person's name I saw was Kathy. So I wrote that kind of big, just in my handwriting. And then what I would do in order to make it bubble letters, it's kind of the same idea. I mean, I'm not using a pen, but I could because I do this so much. But I kind of go around the same way I did the simpler bubble letters. So I can show you how that looks with the line maker. And then I would just erase all the pencil. So as you can see, it's a little more complicated the way I do it anyway. So it's just up to you. And I might spend a little more time doing that, but we're running out of time and I just wanted to show you. So it's very quick. So that's my script bubble letters. And as you can see, it's something I'm used to doing. So it does look more like lettering, but it goes super quickly. And it's just, there's always that quick handwriting that starts it all. It all comes from that. So I hope that helped and was inspiring. And I don't know, there's so many different things that you can do. So are there any last minute questions? People are saying thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. It's hard to fit everything in an hour. There's so much we could do. Oh, hi. Okay. So Molly, are we good? Is anybody, when the recording will be uploaded in a day or two? You're
Yeah,
welcome.
someone was asking about the best pencils, and the pencils that Sam used today were the Derwent Inktense pencils. I know if you guys follow her, she usually uses the Inktense paints. She introduced the pencils today, and then she did use our graphite pencils as well.
Yeah, this is a graphite pencil, and I used today a 2B. Sometimes I go softer, but for this, I did use a 2B. It's personal. You don't want to push too hard because then the lines are harder to erase. So you just want to go like pretty light with the pencil. Just keep that in mind, because anything that you want to erase is just much easier if you don't push too hard. So, and yeah, the Derwent Inktense pencils are sort of meant to be wet. They come to life when you add water, and then they become permanent and solid. For this purpose, it doesn't really matter, because you are going to be printing out these invitations, or they're going to be sent by email digitally. If you want to use, if you're inspired to make invitations after today, I mean, but the anything that you want to keep or in your sketchbook or journal, once you activate the pigment in the pencils, it becomes permanent. Like, right, Molly? Is that the right way of?
Yep, that was great. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, so I'm around. You can find me on Instagram. You can send me direct message. If anybody wants to be up to date on my classes or anything I'm doing in the future, the best thing is to join my mailing list. And that's just on my website, sdionbaker.com. So yeah, join me for everything. I've got a few things going on soon, and then I'm taking kind of July off, and then I'll be back again teaching more in August. So you're welcome, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much.